18-foot box triple hybrid Rockwood coming in on trade here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Looks like it's had 2 previous owners, and overall it appears to be in pretty fair condition. The folks seem to do a pretty good job taking care of it. However, this is a good example of a good reason to bring your business here to Haylet RV, how we don't hide things, how we don't beat around the bush. There is one significant defect on this trailer, and we're going to get it right out of the way. And I hope you appreciate the honesty and transparency. So if this isn't the right RV for you, remember, we've only got about 600 other options that might work. So, I mean, you walk in, and, you know, at a glance, like if you didn't know what you were looking at or looking for, you'd look at this thing and be like, hot dang, Martha, we got us a great deal here. And overall, you know, we're trying to be fair. We recognize the state and the condition of the RV, and we're trying to represent it and, you know, sell it fairly. So what I'm getting at is the one thing that is kind of janky here is this side bed. At a glance, everything looks fine. However, upon closer inspection, the upper corners here, you can see how this fabric head's stressed, and you see how there's literally just chunks of cardboard shoved up in here. So you're going, what now? And the thing is, it's on both sides. Now, we are a Rockwood dealer, and actually I know exactly why this was here. They didn't have a lot of side hybrids like this. And when this model first came out, they hadn't really, I guess, dialed in the engineering. So this entire, you know, bed and tent material, it's basically effectively like glued and velcroed in place. Well, the problem is when you put up this the shepherd's hook, the pole right here, you can stress it enough where you can actually disengage, you can dislodge the top of this material. Now the front and the rear beds are actually attached a little bit differently. It was only the side bed because it was a different type of engineering apparently. Why, I don't know. It just is what it is, folks. So the place where they bought this from, or had it serviced last, I don't know. They neither bought it here nor had us service it. That's all I know. But their solution was stuff a bunch of cardboard in there so that it kind of holds the Velcro in place a little bit better. I would have, like, I get that that works. It's effective. It's ugly and stupid and cheap looking. And I would have just done some nice wood shims that were stained to roughly match everything. But that's just me. It wouldn't have really cost anything more. And then these corners over here, their solution there was just put a gob of caulk on, caulk on it. I can't even talk today. But obviously, you know, you can see daylight through there, guys, because caulk doesn't hold to fabric. That's just a bad decision. And it's on both bed ends, or both sides of this bed end. However, the front and the rear beds, engineered attached a little bit differently, there is no issue with those. You'll see no magic cardboard holding them in place or anything like that. So we had a decision to make here at Haylet RV. We could spend good money replacing that bed end, but the trick is a like replacement would probably just yield a like defect, and it would cost a chunk of money. And chances are you're looking at a couple-year-old used RV, maybe to get away from a pop-up, maybe to, you know, buy an RV on a specific budget or price point, and we didn't want to ding that price tag too much, especially considering the front and the rear beds here work just fine. If it's summertime, you know, you're fine. Well, you can still take your family of 2 to 4 camping in this thing, no sweat. So we had to make the decision, and what we're doing right here, folks, is we are selling it as is. I am making you aware of the current condition of this RV. Once again, I hope you appreciate that. And we can get you quotes on fixing anything. Understand, though, if I pay a certified tech money, I have to, if you want a tech to work on something, I have to pay them. And good labor doesn't work cheap, and cheap labor doesn't work well, you know, so keep that in mind. So we kind of want to make it your decision. You let us know what works for you. Now, if you're still with us, that means that for the right money, you're saying, I appreciate your honesty. What's it got? What other good qualities does it have? And the short answer is a lot. Now, right here, you can see the dinette can obviously fold down into an extra sleeper, as if, you know, the 3 beds weren't enough. And again, those little gaps that we saw there on that bed material, I don't think that would be much of a summertime camping issue. And frankly, I'm wondering if a piece of that insanely strong slide seam tape wouldn't probably be an effective patch job. And it'd be a patch job. I don't like doing cobbled work, but I do think it would be effective enough for, you know, like a little camping season kind of scenario. Everyone's opinions are different. I'm just throwing ideas out there. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just a matter of what works for you and what can we work out together. Taking a peek at her in daytime mode here. Thicker cushions on this, which is going to feel a little more comfortable for sitting, but obviously free floating table, and you may notice no floor venting, no carpeting, easy cleaning kind of camper. And as I recall, I believe that fabric decor was called Sage. It's the one that looked like it had a mint green kind of cushion at one point, and then like a grandkid took a paintbrush full of chocolate sauce and just went all over the place. At least that's what I see on it. Anyway, so these are 60 by 80 heated queen beds all the way around. They are, the controllers to activate those are still with the RV. Actually, those are in the cabinet right next to me here. You can see that your hand controllers are there, all your owner's manuals, remote controls, even the bunk fan light combo jobs that plug in and hook up over those beds, those are all still here. The folks tried their best to take care of the RV. It just had that one little, you know, defect, glitch in the engineering and design of it, which, by the way, Rockwood fixed a long time ago, several years ago. It is not a recurring problem that they suffer from now. That is one of the things about Rockwoods. If there is something that's glitchy, they're going to fix it. Speaking of which, also, if we look up here in this vent, like you're like, okay, yeah, I see a vent, but if you look a little more closely, the actual roof, like the lift up-down lid cover is gone. What we're looking at is the Max Air roof vent cover above that. Now, it doesn't super concern me a whole lot because it's not like it's exposed to the elements necessarily. But again, if I see something, I say something. And I try to be fair, everybody. Big window over here. You can hear that tractor roaring by. He doesn't know that we're in here, unfortunately. That's the one thing with hybrid campers, you know, not a lot of sound blocking, since there's really just a blanket between you and the outside. Obviously not a blanket per se, but you get the idea. Raised panel hardwood cabinet doors. Cherry finish on these. Ooh, wicked sunshine coming in. A lot of lower cabinetry. Since this one does not have an oven, you have a lot bigger storage capacity in those cabinets. That's something actually I wish Rockwood would make optional once again. Ovens are no longer optional. And I know that some people like ovens. I get it. I sell plenty of campers that have ovens, but there's a lot of people that don't need them who could use the extra storage. And again, triple hybrid, triple queen bed. And one of the cool things about a hybrid camper, you can kind of just use the beds that you want or need on a given day. You don't necessarily have to set all three of them up at once. And once the camera adjusts to the light, you can see how we also have household outlets right next to each bed. So whether it's a phone charger, a CPAP machine, or whatever, we're good to go. Foot flush toilet right here, and right above that we have one of those XL Max Air style fans, and the blades on that look super clean. Shower surround paneling, simple bathroom, but effective. I do like that they did build this with a slightly bigger countertop though, so you actually have some room for your, you know, toothpaste and toothbrush. This also has just about the biggest power awning they could possibly put on a little box like that. Don't get me wrong, it's, you know, not a 24-foot awning, but that's because it's not a 24-foot camper. Now the bed end material itself, actually pretty good looking. Like if I get right up here, you can see how it's not stained, spotted, molded. Again, the ownership of this RV has been pretty good. They've done a good job of doing their best to take care of it over time. This has four-wheel independent torsion axles and suspension, so it does ride and handle like a dream. I can tell you, this side of the RV was parked facing west most of the time, using my camper CSI, camp scene investigator kind of skills. Not because of the decals, but if I get up really close, I noticed that the tires are just at the beginning of a weather checking phase. So it probably wouldn't hurt, given the age of the RV and the look at those tires, that you may consider at some point replacing those. If you're going to do, you know, a lot of towing, I would definitely get on that. If you don't have any big immediate towing plans, you may not need to really worry about that. I know that some people will still put hybrids on like seasonal campsites. So what you need to do there is kind of up to you. By the way, down here, they had welded on a little 2-inch receiver hitch, probably for something like a bike rack. That's not going to have a big heavy-duty weight capacity on it, but, you know, you want to throw a little bike rack on there, take a couple bikes around for the weekend, you get the job done. Skin is clean, decals look good, it was well maintained, it's just got a couple glitches. But that's the used part of the used price tag sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm not going to apologize for that. This is how it came into us, but we do obviously try to represent it fairly, decently, transparently. And once again, if the things that we've shared in this RV are disqualifying factors for you, man, I totally get it. I don't spend my money any differently than you, and I work hard for the money that I earn every day, and I want to know exactly what I'm getting and, you know, what's involved in it when I do spend that money. So if this RV isn't the right one for you, remember that we've only got 600 plus other options here for you at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. So, you know, new, used, otherwise, give us a call. We got it all. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. It's the Morgans!